on to the Buckingham Palace balcony, she was seen to exclaim, "Wow!" at her first glimpse of the crowds who had surged past the Queen Victoria Memorial in order to demonstrate their approval. The sun shone even brighter that day on the new golden couple whom everyone believed would bring some much-needed fresh blood and humanity to the royal family. Hailed as the wedding of the century, here was the living embodiment of a fairy tale. A prince and future king had married a beautiful young woman for love, rather than any political or dynastic alliance. Catherine was a new breed of princess for a modern age of monarchy. Within a few weeks, Catherine had already begun her philanthropic work, championing the causes most significant to her, such as vulnerable women and children, the homeless, mental health and addiction. In lieu of receiving gifts for their wedding, Catherine and William established the Royal Wedding Charity Fund to support their charities. Catherine is considered to be a down-to-earth princess who is strongly aware of social issues and takes a hands-on role in all her charity work, such as designing a garden for children at Chelsea to inspire families to go outdoors into nature, donating her hair to cancer victims as part of the Little Princess Trust, working as a secret midwife in order to raise awareness of their work, speaking on a podcast of her own difficulties when first becoming a mother. Some might believe that her behaviour as a princess is modelled greatly on her late mother-in-law Diana, Princess of Wales. Certainly Diana was not afraid to take on causes that were unpopular at the time, such as leprosy and HIV. Diana was far more tactile and involved in her royal duties, and she was the first member of the royal family to shake hands with a sufferer of AIDS. We tend to believe that it was Diana who first ripped up the royal rulebook that determined how a princess should behave in modern times. We could not be further from the truth. When they married, both Diana and Catherine continued a royal bridal tradition of honouring the war dead by placing their bridal bouquets on the tomb of the unknown soldier in Westminster Abbey. In doing so, they were continuing a tradition started in 1922 by a royal bride who stopped during the ride back to her wedding breakfast at Buckingham Palace and laid a bouquet on the cenotaph to honour the dead from the First World War. Her name was Princess Mary, and she was the only daughter of the present Queen's grandfather, King George V, and his wife, Queen Mary. Today, Princess Mary remains relatively unknown. Few people know who she was or what she looked like, and yet so many modern princesses owe her a debt of gratitude for the way she paved for them in ensuring that a princess's life was not just about standing around looking pretty and organising social gatherings. Mary wanted to make a difference in her work, and, more than anything, she wished to use her elevated position to help those who were less fortunate than herself. What makes this even more remarkable is that she was born during Queen Victoria's Diamond Jubilee in 1897, a time of deference to the crown and solemnity. Princess Mary was Britain's first modern princess. This is evident from a glance at some of her most significant charitable achievements. During the First World War, she visited hospitals and welfare organisations with her mother, Queen Mary. In particular, she was involved with charities supporting the wives and children of soldiers serving in France. She organised the Princess Mary Gift Fund during the First World War as a way of ensuring British troops and sailors received a Christmas gift. She worked in a canteen in a munitions factory in Hayes, but her main interest lay in nursing, especially the work of the Voluntary Aid Detachment, VAD. Mary trained to be a nurse and worked on a ward at Great Ormond Street Hospital. Princess Mary was one of the hardest-working members of the royal family. She was known as the Queen of the North, a title given because